and girls, my name's Dan. Welcome back to The Forge. In this episode of Trust Me, I am a blacksmith. We are going to be making a store-bought hammer into one like this. Okay, got posed an interesting question yesterday after posting this on Instagram. Dani Fahim asked me if you could make a hammer like this one. I have one like this. So let's give it a go. Okay, so this isn't going to be a tutorial video. I'm just going to go over some of the places where problems can happen, and I'm going to talk about how we get results on this hammer and then transfer them onto this one. Right, first thing I need to do is get the bloody handle out of here. Okay, already got a problem. This hammer is pinned. I don't know if you can see that. Pinning is common. Farrier's hammers sometimes do it. I put the pin straight through the centre. I'm going to cut this off here and make sure that hopefully there's not a metal rod in there, but I'm going to cut this off. This fiberglass handle. I'm going to try and punch that out and then see what we can do about this pin. That didn't work. I'm not a foreigner to taking hammer handles off. So if they won't budge when you give them a tap, like this one won't, the eye's very interesting on this hammer. What you want to do is you want to take a drill and just drill through the centre of the material. I can probably start in the centre. What's been that? It's very centred. Okay, anyway, I'm going to drill this out and I'll see you in a minute. But basically what I'll do, small drill bit, drill through a couple of times with the small drill bit and then take a bigger drill bit, use it like a pilot and then just keep going through every time. Okay, I already have a terrible feeling that I'm going to do a lot of things in this video that you shouldn't do. Either because I'm ignorant and I don't know that I'm doing it wrong, or if anyone out there knows what a plant fitter is, you will completely understand what I'm saying when I was a plant fitter. I'll try my best not to do any gross practice, but I'm using a small tap, a broken one, it's busted, to drive these little split pins out that are in the side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to chuck this in the fire and burn the rest of that resin out. But I am going to wear a respirator when I'm doing that. I don't know how chemically bad this resin is, so I don't suggest you do it at home unless you've got a respirator. In fact, don't do it. Just don't do it. Right, so I'm going to knock this out and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so far so good. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this in the fire and I'm going to start marking out where I want to start putting the fullers in. Am I going to use all of this hammer? I don't think so. I'm probably going to have some quite large faces on this. This will be quite a dumpy hammer. And the hammer eye itself is tapered, but in a weird way. So this side is tapered, but this side isn't. Or if it is, it's tapered it's got a very shallow taper on it. So when they put the resin in, basically, they put the resin in, then put the pin in, and they don't have a problem with it holding together. So, yeah, I'm going to put those lines in, trench them in, and hopefully these eyes are going to be small enough so that we can, if it does pinch, we can save it, and also I can draw it out so we can make it for a nice hammer handle. But we will see. I also have just noticed that this is powder coated, so another reason not to stick it in the fire without a respirator. In fact, just don't stick it in the fire, clean it off with a wire brush. But it's going in the fire, so... stress. Okay, that was a bit stressful. It's one of these rough videos again, so I'm taking my time. I'll explain more about that at the end, but I'm putting a little bit of time in to get this done. However, one take, no fakes, if you know what I mean. Okay, first biggest issue, it was like eating sludge. It's so soft. I don't know what the material is, and that's one of the problems with using a hammer. You're not gonna really know what it is. It's gonna be about 0.4% carbon. Is it gonna be an alloy? Is it gonna be just a plain carbon steel? I don't know. So I think this is probably like 1045, something like that. Not 100% sure, but it was like super soft. This is 4140 or EN19, and it's hard. It's really tough. It's tough when it's cold. It's tough when it's hot. It's a good material. That's why I use it for my drifts. That's why I use it for so much. It just likes. It doesn't want to be moved, which I'm used to, and I like it because I can whack it even harder. Whereas those first couple of fullers I put in, I was like, uh-oh. Anyway, very soft. So that was my, and that's not true actually. I thought it was soft when I was hitting it with a hand hammer when I was hitting these holes. And I thought, oh, it's because those holes are there, the materials collapsed down a bit. But it wasn't. It had nothing to do with that at all because the other side was just the same. So yeah, but basically, I've got there. I've got what we set out to create. It's not 100% the same. I don't want to mess around with it anymore. I'm already pinched the eye ever so slightly. We'll go over that later. I'll take you in a bit closer up. Long and short of it is, the first thing you need to do is get as close to the eye as possible to put this first trench in. I'll change the camera. So if you want to get these looking really good, the first thing you need to do is get as close to the eye as you possibly can. Every transition I put on all my hammers, this is the point where that transition happens right here. The problem is that I got a bit close on the one side, this side here. I've got a bit of a shut on here. In fact, you see that on a lot of people's hammers. You see that little pinch there. I've ground it out a little bit to see how bad it is. And this is just me messing around. This hammer isn't going anywhere. So that's the first thing. Get as close to that eye as possible. If you want to get these to look the same, that's the first thing. When I punch the hole on here, the first thing I do is the fullers. So you've punched the hole, you've got your fullers in, then you start pulling out the cheeks. You've already got a large hole in here. You've got to take it really steady. With this, the first couple of times when I pull this out, the drift is only partly in. The drift is only in. There's probably only that much of the drift sticking out, so like at the most 2 inches. So I've got material to pull out. I've got to get material moved. So I'm going to drive that drift in. I'm going to start pulling the material out. And then, once I've got the material roughly where I want it, I can then start opening the eye up. Here, I've got a completely different scenario. I've already got a massive eye. So what I was trying to do was set the drift, make sure the entirety of the hole was filled, and then pull it out. But don't go any more until the very end. But yeah, other than that, pretty simple. Okay, looking pretty good. I've ground the faces, and I found a hammer handle that fits. I've also tailored those drifts so they basically fit anyway. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop this back in the fire, get this nice and hot, and do the heat treat on it. And then after I've done the heat treat, obviously fit the handle and all that nice stuff. And that's pretty much it. So I'll vaguely run through the hammer construction as I do the heat treat and everything like that. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the hole. I'm not going to get rid of the hole because it's a good little memory sort of thing to have. Right, so I'm going to go and finish this now, and I'll see you guys and girls in a bit. Okay, I just demonstrate with the file. It's got a really nice glassy sound to it, and I've polished that face up there, and it's hardly touched it, even on these cheeks as well. It catches on the edge, but as soon as it bites in, if it does bite, it flattens it off and then skates. So they're quite good files as well. They'll file some tough old stuff, but they're not touching this. So I must have done a reasonably good job. Oh, in fact, that's cool as well. Let's see if we can see that. You can also see, I'll see if I can get that in there, the original DIN number on there as well still. which is quite cool. There she is. Right, so we'll do the heat treat, finish the heat treat on there, temper these up. I'll take them up to a nice blue. I want this for clubbing drifts and stuff, so don't need it to be mad hard. So. Great example of these rough and ready videos. Camera died just as literally as the temper colours started to come through. Do a bit of a close up of the temper colours. I'm then going to polish it up a little bit, not going to go crazy, and stick it on a handle. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay, in the last episode I was really struggling with how to tagline title this video so that you guys and girls at home know that this video is one of these sort of rough and ready ones, a bit sort of vloggy ones. And I really want some feedback and you guys and girls at home to come up with an idea for a title. So drop one down in the comments and let me know what you think this series should kind of be called. And as a sort of little incentive, I will make someone a pair of tongs as a thank you if I pick their title. Yes, that sounds like a good deal, and I'll ship it to you for free. Unless you live somewhere weird like Antarctica and it's going to cost me like £300 to send it there, then you're paying. Anyway, right, yeah, I don't know where this is going to go in the video, but it's going to go somewhere. Yeah. Okay, if you want to put like a trench in the bottom of a nib, it's good to just remove the centre of the material ever so slightly with a chisel or something. Okay, slide that back a bit. And then you don't have to go mad. Okay, so just run that down the centre there, pop it back in the fire. And then I'm going to take the stop that I eventually want to have in the, or be able to hold in the tongs, and then I can use that chisel line to start getting it sat in there nicely. Slightly bigger hammer than I normally would use. It's round swage, and that's going to give the outside of the nib a really nice shape. Towards you. That's it. Roll it round. That's it. So you get a nice trench in there that's real central. Okay, so there it is. Handles on, wedged up, looking pretty tidy. Now I'm going to keep this from a hammer for myself. I don't know what the steel is and I don't know what's going to happen because I pinched that eye a little bit. Something I'm really keen on not doing is pinching that eye because it is a cold shut, and if if you are forging your hammers and you're getting that pinch, they're not, yeah, if they're for you, it's fine. Anyone else, I would say you want to, you know, you want to bid it, basically. But this came out lovely. I'm so happy with it. It looks awesome. It doesn't look far off this one. Slightly different shape, faces, but I thought it would be cool to just have that sort of, those slight differences. And basically going to use this for just smashing big drifts in and maybe doing a bit of drawing out. Maybe this is a bit too heavy for swinging, for like drawing out, but we'll see what happens. So really stoked with this. Okay, so these are the tongs you saw me working on today. They're some hollow bits, and they've come out lovely. And these were recently purchased by a customer that's bought a few things, and I've emailed her a couple of times, but she's never got back to me. She always buys stuff, but she doesn't talk to me. So, Deborah, thank you very much for buying more stuff. This is your third purchase now, and these are coming to you very soon. And hopefully you enjoy them. Okay, Dani, can you take a bog standard hammer off a shelf and turn it into one like this? Well, the answer is, you sure can. Is it as good? It's all right. It's not bad. Okay, a massive thank you to Ella for helping help me draw out stock, getting some stuff out and all that lovely stuff. She's amazing. Go and check out her Instagram. She definitely deserves a shout out. So I'll leave a link to that in the description. George, thank you for the hammer. I've got a friend of the channel, a guy called George. He came down with his grandson not so long ago, and Reese. And basically they spent the day down here and we did some bits and bobs, but every time he comes up he brings me some nice stuff, and he bought me that hammer, so thank you very much. Hopefully you're happy with what I've done with it, George. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. If George does comment, I'll pin that comment so that you guys and girls can give them some. I wanted to be getting on with doing the centre punches today, but unfortunately the hammer got in the way and I'm a bit behind with some stock stuff, which is incredible. Again, thank you so much for buying stuff and being such lovely people and helping me out in such an incredible way. However, next week I will be doing that video. Oh, sorry, I won't be doing that video. What? Because, anyway, I'll explain that later. I'm not doing it now. Anyway, but the next Stay Home, Stay Safe video will be coming next week. Hopefully I'm going to be able to get to do that on Monday. That's the plan at least. And then the rest of the week is going to be like hammers. So, and some other bits and bobs. I've got some other projects that I want to get started as well. So, if you want to know anything, or you want any information, or you just want a shout out, so ask a good question, put it in the comments down below on this video, and I will, basically, I will give you a shout out, and also I will answer the question that you put in the comments. Yeah, that's basically it really. So anything you want to know about hammer making, from punching eyes to fitting handles to how I sell them, the stress that comes with selling bloody hammers, all of that lovely stuff. We've got dog's heads to make, I've got a couple more of these to make, I've got some big boys to make, I've got some custom sales, I've got an absolutely huge Scandi to make for a guy. I'm going to try and get Tim's little Scandi done as well. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of really cool hammer making next week. Okay, I think that's everything. I've talked for enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a link up here to a video that YouTube thinks is best for you. This down here is a link to the most recent video. I'll put a video here, and this is the subscribe button. Thank you so much for joining me. See you guys and girls later. Goodbye.